That means they wouldn't win 5 games.
Oh,
So I took that.
that was smart. I'm muted.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Now. Start. Good evening and welcome to the October 11th special board meeting. Mr. Verlingo, can you call the roll, please?
Here.
Chrysler. Mr. Harrison.
Here.
Ms. Mooring.
Here. Here. We have 2 items for action under general business. Somebody is echoing. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, maybe it's just volume. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, well, we have 2 items for action under general business. Is there a motion to approve items number 1 and 2 under letter A?
So moved.
Thanks, Mrs. Mooring. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Discussion? So I turn it over to you.
Yes, we're excited to talk about GMPs 1 and 2. I'm hearing myself.
I know, it's awful.
Oh, thanks, Brian. So we have talked with you a lot about moving. Can you guys hear me? We have talked to you a great deal about moving forward with our elementary project, especially the classroom additions. And we're at an exciting point today that we are bringing GMP 1 and 2 to you. So it's both High Point and Blacklick, the entire project. There's one thing in each that isn't in there. So it's FF&E. It's furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We're still getting numbers on that. We're under budget on both these GMPs. And so your vote of approval tonight will allow us to move forward and deliver the elementary classrooms we so desperately need. You remember we did our redistricting plan in 2 phases. So we had phase 1, and now we need to execute phase 2. High Point and Blacklick are both burgeoning at the seams. Some of the developments are actually finishing there a little more quickly than we thought they were going to finish. And at the end of the day, in looking at the FF&E for both High Point and Blacklick, we have to be very disciplined. We may do things like pull the furniture out like we did at Lincoln. We saved over $1 million by doing that. So at the end of the day, we need some more time, but you have our word that we will be very disciplined in that process. It's important to stay under budget. The total budget for the project is impacted even slightly. If we go over on our elementary schools or our middle schools, it could affect our high school. And so what we have is a short, Mark Ogden from Turner, our owner's rep, developed a couple slides for us. And so I want to share these slides on Zoom, and then they're also in the room. And so Mark can talk through about where we are. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Where do we want Mark to go?
Just let me know when it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Do we have a microphone for Mark?
Yeah, what you can do, Mark, is just talk into my computer here. Sorry.
Does he have to direct the slides?
Yeah, but it's okay. He can do that. There we go. Okay, so can you see these slides on the screen? Okay. Okay. Want to sit down?
Sure.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. Like Steve mentioned, my name's Mark Ogden with Turner Construction. We're the owner's rep. And the slides are brief, but what it is just kind of capturing a look back at where we have been, where we are right now, and where we ultimately will end up. What you're looking at here are two pie charts, one for High Point Elementary and one for Blacklick Elementary. Each of the full circles represent the full budget for each of the elementary schools. Yep. And like I said, looking back in January of 2021, you guys approved DLR to be your architect of record. And that started to fill out the pie chart, okay? In June, you can barely see the little sliver because you got such a good deal on Turner Construction, but you did, that was the next step. In June of 2021, you approved us to be part of your team, and we're thankful for that. And that brings us to tonight. Here we are in October of 2021, and we are about to approve, hopefully, the GMP for both of the elementary schools, High Point and Blacklick Elementary. But you can see that there's still a remaining cost allocation that we'll need you to approve at some point in the future. So we're not out of the woods. We're pretty far along, obviously, but there's still some costs to be encumbered at some point in the future. And like what Steve had mentioned, the biggest component of that is the furniture and equipment that's going to go into the schools. And then we also have a little bit of monies left over for other miscellaneous things that we are going to encounter, as well as some scope development that may be realized before we need to totally exhaust those funds.
Okay,
All right.
thanks. Any questions?
The question I have is, what are we doing with the modules? How are those getting deconstructed, removed? How is that part of the process?
So now I gotta. You can do it. So the modulars will be in place as until we get the construction and the new buildings. We need those every single day in both buildings. I'm sure Vasily is here tonight, and so thanks for being here. We're going to need those spaces, especially at Blacklick. Those are full every day, but as soon as the project's done, they'll be removed.
The cost to remove those is not in this budget here. It's outside of this budget.
No, and I think that that's just part of our general fund. So yeah, it's not necessarily a part of this project.
Monday, there was discussion about rent of property. When we start, as the high school goes, the good spaces for our. With the discussion, if you're not using them somewhere else, we may want to rent them.
When they're no longer needed at Blacklick.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And so yeah, Tony Vasily from Vasily Construction is here, and there have been discussions with our architects and our team about renting, once we're done with the modulars at High Point and Blacklick, of renting them. They will need construction trailers, and so they can be used on that site possibly.
Anybody else have any questions?
I just want to confirm these numbers are well within our budget. And so the action is just so that we can get construction started.
Exactly. Yeah, we need to get in construction started and get in the queue for, remember we talked about the supply chain issues for structural steel and building the gymnasiums. And so we actually have to get in the queue to do that. I'm really happy that Vasily and Turner and DLR are working with us. This is one of the most difficult construction markets in a long time, because not only are labor costs rising, but they stopped making structural steel, and you have Amazon and other Facebook and other big vendors buying those. And so it's 10 to 14 months out to order that. And so by approving this tonight, it'll get us in the queue to deliver those items. And then we will finish the gymnasium and other parts of the project beyond the classroom wing into the winter of 23 and by the spring of June of 23. So.
Any other questions? Is it Mark?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you. Thanks for being here tonight. I think our understanding is that you'll be, or somebody from Turner will be coming to our finance committee meetings from now on to do an update for the board.
Yeah.
That'd be great so that we can have a chance to hear what's going on regularly and ask questions. So thank you for coming tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
If there's not any other questions, can you call the roll, Mr. Verlingo?
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Antonio,
Yes.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison.
Yes.
Okay, there is nothing else on the agenda for tonight. So is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Thanks, Mr. Campbell. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mr. Hairston. Any discussion? Mr. Verlingo, can you call the roll one more time?
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Antonio,
Yes,
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
it is 5:40 and we are adjourned.